AIA Vitality. Your health is every choice you make. We are part of a global wellness program with over 1.65 million members in AIA across Asia. And in Singapore, we have more than 100,000 members on AIA Vitality. Members live healthier by knowing their health through online health assessments and screenings. They improve their health by logging exercises and enjoying the rewards to keep them going. And indeed, members are making improvements in their health. Even the vitality age gap has narrowed to less than a year. Best of all, you earn points for every activity. The higher your status, the greater the rewards, including up to 15% off insurance premium on selected AIA plans. To keep you going, there is the weekly fitness challenge with personalized targets to help pace and improve your fitness. When you complete the challenge, you get a spin on the Vitality Wheel to earn Vitality Coins, which you can use at the marketplace. That's not all. You also earn AIA Vitality Points for completing these activities. And very soon, you'll be on your way to Platinum status. And we sweeten the deal further with many exciting partner benefits that you can enjoy. With AIA Vitality, nothing gets better than a healthier you. So get onto AIA Vitality today because your health is every choice you make.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Jalan, Besar. Unfortunately, devoid of fans due to the ongoing COVID-19 restrictions, but you've got the best seat of the house live on Singtel StarHub, the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page, and OnePlay Sports. It's title-chasing Lion City Sailors against Geylang International, who come here fresh from their only victory of the campaign since the opening day. Well, before we get down to business, we've got some paperwork to get through, starting with the goal of the month for April. That man, Gabriel Quack, what a stunner it was. Let me take you back 3 weeks ago to when Gabriel opened the scoring with an absolutely sensational strike on this ground against Balestier Khalsa. You'll see it again. It's worth watching over and over. Naikunin with the cross. Gabriel Quack, how about that? Stunning strike. It was a competitive month as well, with Diego Lopez as winner at Hougang. And of course, in the same game, Shardan's free kick, not to mention Nakamura's effort from just inside opposition territory against the Young Lions. So congratulations to Gabriel Quack. He wins that prestigious award. And speaking of awards, Stipe Plazivat, he may not lead the goal-scoring charts at the moment. He's currently 3 behind Tomoyuki Doi and Suboy, but boy oh boy, he's the ultimate team player, and he's a worthy recipient of the AIA Player of the Month for April. Kick-off moments away, important team news to come. Let's go down pitch side where our Farah Nair has caught up with the two managers. We'll hear from Geylang Gaff and Norali after she's caught up with the interim coach replacing Aurelio Vidmar at the Lion City Sailors. It's Robin Chitrakar.
Robin, this is your first match in charge as interim head coach. Your side on a pretty good run of form. How will you be looking to keep the momentum going tonight?
We'll continue where VD left off, and we will definitely do our best. We're going to make one change. Pasha will step in for Glenn for tonight's match. And we'll...
Now, you don't need reminding that the last time you took on Geylang, you won 8-0. Will you be expecting a somewhat similar performance and result tonight?
It's a different match altogether, with Geylang now doing very well in their last two matches. Definitely today will be an exciting match, and we are hoping definitely to get these 3 points.
So apologies for those technical issues, unable to hear from Noor Ali, but I can tell you he's beset by injuries, unfortunately. It's a weak and starting 11 for Geylang, as you heard from Robin, just the one change to what has become now a very settled and consistent Lion City Sailors side. The teams will confirm for you in a minute. I can tell you Geylang have a debutant in goal in 21-year-old Sanders Surajan, and as you heard from Robin, just that one change to the Sailors, with Haikal Pasha coming in for Glenong, who's impressed in his first couple of starts for the Sailors this season. Our match officials out first, led by referee Jahan Zalton, and here come the Sailors. So with a win today, to move to within a point of Albrecht at the top of the table after the White Swans dropped 2 points at OTH against Tampines last night. If you didn't see that game, catch the highlights on the social media channels. A dramatic last-second penalty by Boris Kapitovic, earning the Stags a come from behind 2-all draw. They trailed 2-0 in that one as well. Getting in their trained strip of pink, you caught a glimpse of Maresh there, who's been their standout performer. 6 goals so far this season. They've all come courtesy of braces in 3 matches. He got a brace against Tanjung Pagar on opening day, 2 in the 3-2 win against Tampines, and then a pair in that 4-2 win against the Young Lions here. So at least Geylang have fond memories of Jalan Besar from that victory just a couple of weeks ago, but they'll have it all to do against the Lion City Sailors team who, notwithstanding the somewhat surprise departure of Aurelio Vidmar, who's left to take charge of BG Patum, who are playing in the Asian Champions League over in Thailand, they've entrusted the reins on a caretaker basis to the previous first-team coach, Robin Chitrakar. And it's very much a family affair because Robin's brother is currently the team manager at the Lion City Sailors as well. So they're keeping it in the family as Jahan Zaiton with Lim Kok Keng, Kasi Gopikana, and the 4th official, Mohamed Taufik Tane, like us, get ready with anticipation of this blockbuster clash. So it's the first game under Robin Chitrakar, but the team remains largely unchanged. Just that one under-23 switch with Glenong, who has been impressive, dropping back down to the bench. Haikal Pasha comes in for he. Other than that, it's becoming an established starting 11, which means, as always, no place for Song Yong and Adam Swandy, along with Faris Ramli. They'll be looking to make an impact off the bench. As for Geylang International, well, 4 changes to the team that won 4-2 against the Young Lions, but there is some significant absentees. You can see they haven't got enough fit players to actually name a full substitutes bench. Sanders starts in goal, primarily to accommodate the under-23 requirement. I'm told Barry McGuire will be playing centre-back, and a big game for Istin Shafiq up against his former club here with Yuchi Ichikawa captaining the side as always. If it's going to happen for Geylang here, surely Maresh has got to have his best game of the season so far. They're going to need Barry Maguire to adapt to the switch to centre-back. And what a moment for 21-year-old Sanders Surajan, who makes his AIA SPL debut in goal for Geylang against arguably the league's in-form side. Under Aurelio Vidmar, there have been hiccups. They were beaten here comfortably 3-1 by Hougang earlier in the season. They dropped points as well against the Sailors on opening day. And Noor Ali will be hoping, with the depleted squad, he can do better than when these teams last met just a couple of weeks ago at OTH, when the Lion City Sailors recorded the biggest league victory of the season so far by any team in beating the Eagles by 8-0. Yes, that 8-0 game still very much fresh in the memory. It was only 3 match days ago. On that occasion, they were out of sight by half-time. They were 4-0 up by half-time. There was a hat-trick for Diego Lopez as well. It's crucial, you feel, that Geylang can try and keep this tight early. They're going to have to really dig deep on their reserves. There's so many inexperienced players in their ranks and playing out of position. And also worth a mention is the youngster Ilhan Noor, who's actually Noor Ali's son, who will be playing right back for them today. So, will Geylang be pretty in pink, or will the Sailors continue to go full steam ahead towards a title challenge? A win today would take them to within touching distance of Albrecht, and when you look at the upcoming fixtures after today, it's back-to-back games for the Sailors against the Young Lions and Tanjung Pagar United. It's easy to anticipate that come the break-off of the AFC Cup at the end of the month, the Sailors will finally, for the first time since the name change, hit top spot in the division. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. They've got to first see off Geylang, who play in the pink in this first half, playing right to left. Geylang in the white shirts, blue shorts, playing left to right, as Maresh takes up that familiar look to the gods. Will the gods smile kindly on Geylang? One of the biggest underdogs of the season so far. This depleted Eagles lineup get us underway. Straight away, they try and make inroads down the right-hand side, but it's met by Naikudin, who sends it out for a throw. Also another game going on today, worth mentioning. We'll be keeping you up to date with the game being played at the Hougang Stadium. It's Hougang against Balestier there. Scores as and when they come in. And just to, by the way, tidy up some housekeeping as well with regards to what happened yesterday. Obviously that 2-2 draw was a cracker at OTH. Just to confirm that that game that was played at Geelong East last night, due to inclement weather, as we get a look at Elijah Lim, sending it forward, a heavy touch from Amy. Yeah, going back to the game at Geelong East yesterday between Tanjung Pagar and the Young Lions, because of the revised schedule to accommodate the fasting period, there's no longer a long period built in for the lightning warning system to go off. So unfortunately the lightning warning system was on over the 30 minutes that were allocated, so that game was abandoned with the score at 1 each. That was a dangerous pass there, wasn't it? And will be replayed at a later date. So commiserations to Tanjung Pagar and Young Lion fans. I suppose on the plus side, at least it was 1 each, and no team, you would think on the face of it, going to get a clear advantage from that. Over the top, and he could be onside here, Maresh. And it's interesting that Nur Ali's gambling by playing Maresh up top, even more so than he did in the game against the Young Lions. He looks to be playing in a pseudo out-and-out striker's role. Maresh likes to change that hairstyle, doesn't he? The blonde mop is already gone for Geylang's number 10. And it's a solid enough start for the Eagles, to be fair. Here's Chardin. George Felipe, who scored that last gasp equaliser here against Dalberex Nagata. Chardin dropping deep, brings in Amaral. Amaral to the very impressive Anik Roshan. But it's picked up by Darren Tay, who gets it back to Barry Maguire, who's dropped back into defence today with Faisal Roslan unavailable. They've been beset by injuries. Harith Kanadi, a late withdrawal as well. Convalius continues to have problems as the flag is up for offside against Elijah Lim. Good start from the Eagles. This Darren Tace found Maresh. Maresh, oh, he's dispossessed brilliantly by Saifullah. First attack in anger, and they'll get a free kick in a dangerous position here. And a yellow card, and that is not the ideal start for Barry Maguire going into the book early on. Well, who's he shown the yellow card here to? I think the yellow card may well have gone to Ilhan Noor Ali's son there. It looked like he was waving it in the direction of Barry Maguire. Unless Barry Maguire said something, I think the card was already coming out for the challenge. So young Ilhan Noor in the referee's book inside 4 minutes. That's one of their backline now walking a disciplinary tightrope. And more concerning will be the fact that Chardin's over this free kick. He's already scored a goal of the month contender. He was pipped to that title by his teammate Gabriel Quack for the AIA Goal of the Month award. Keep an eye on that number 10 lurking at the back stick, but a good claim and a good gather early for Sanders Suragen on debut. That'll give him a lot of confidence as he managed to pluck that one out of the air comfortably enough. Early goal at the Hougang Stadium. Hougang United 0, Balestier Khalsa 1. Tigers leading the Cheetahs, who are in a miserable run of form at the moment, Hougang. And they're trailing early to Marko Krojovic's Balestier Khalsa. Goal scorer to follow. Meanwhile, for the first time, inside the first 5 minutes, it's a little bit of sustained pressure mounting up for the Lion City Sailors, who've made such good inroads down that left-hand flank against nearly every team in the league so far. Saifullah gets it back to Amaral. Maresh is going to have to work so hard in what will be a lonely position up front on his own for the most part. Gabriel Quack, intelligent pass He's going to cut inside here. He might get a chance to have a strike on goal. It's deflected and behind for a corner. I'm sure with that inexperienced goalkeeper, they'll be told to not be afraid to go forward and shoot. And Haikal Pasha back into the starting lineup today at the expense of Geylang. Did really well to create some space to get the shot away. And now the game beginning to start the pattern that you expect it to take throughout the course of the next 85 minutes. Here's Jalan. George Felipe getting involved with Ichikawa. Ichikawa, of course, has already given away a penalty on this ground from a corner this season. He did so against the Young Lions last time out. And the referee doing the right thing, I think, here, Johaman Zalton, just telling them to cut all the nonsense out. Now will Jalan go short to Saifullah? Or will he play it long? He plays it long. Felipe just couldn't get his head under it. Goes back to Hassan Sunny, who's not had a save to make yet, and I don't think he'll be having many to make. I can tell you it's Zuzu who's got the goal for Balestier Khalsa early in the game at the Hougang Stadium. That game also live on Singtel Star Hub and the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page. Gabriel Quack, lovely layoff to Haikal. Back to Gabriel Quack. Gabriel Quack looking in the middle, and it was within a whisker of reaching Diego Lopez. It's behind for another corner, their second of the game. Yeah, Zuzu on the mark early for Balestier Khalsa to give them the early lead. The Sailors still looking to make the breakthrough here, but the pressure's starting to mount. 2 corners inside the first 7 minutes. The first one just evaded George Felipe, who's got to be the tallest player in the league. He's towering over about 6'4", and Felipe's up for this. Just lost out to Ichikawa, who did enough. Amy Rekka. Well, they can only belt it clear because there's no pink shirts in the offensive area, and under the circumstances, that was probably the best that Amy could do. So it'll be young Anik Roshan to take the throw. Gets it back to Naikudin. George Felipe, as they set again, and this pattern of possession outside the first 2 minutes where Geylang came forward a couple of times. I think this is going to be a defence against attack match for the most part, but what's this? Trying to thread it through to Maresh, who takes it off the toes of Felipe. Now Maresh, he can make magic happen, Maresh! And they do get a shot on goal, and Maresh arguably should have done better, and once again it's George Felipe. Not for the first time since he arrived in Singapore, he half got caught out there. Now the referee wants to speak to Barry Maguire, who's getting involved with Diego Lopez, but look at this, too casual from George Felipe. And Maresh, well, I think in hindsight, he'll be disappointed he didn't get that on target. Amy Rekka, who's already scored 3 goals this season, gave that pass back to Maresh. There are signs that Amy and Maresh are going to form some kind of partnership as Felipe tries to bypass Barry Maguire. That doesn't quite work out. Here's a test for Darren Tay. Darren Tay gets it to Maguire, who can drive through the middle. Maguire, he sees space for Elijah Lim on this near side. Elijah Lim, oh, that's a weak pass that will be picked off by the Young Lions. Well, the Lion City Sailors, I should say, apologies. Now Diego Lopez is away at the races. Now Diego Lopez driving through the middle, tries to thread it through to Stipe, and they'll get it back to Sander Suragen, who gets it clear. A lively enough start here, and credit where it's due, it's very early on, but Geylang are at least, for me at least, showing the right balance of attacking intent. They were already a goal down when the teams met at OTH just 4 weeks ago. Oh, Elijah Lim's now picked that off, but good recovery from Amaral. Back to Jalan. There's something about watching the Lion City Sailors, the way they knock it about. Sometimes it looks effortless and it almost creates the illusion that they're not trying their all, but it's just the way they're set up to play with so many talented players. They do have the luxury of being able to stroke it around a little bit more and maybe sometimes rely less on brute force, but they've got defending to do now. Maresh, he's got the youngster Anik Roshan for company. Maresh with Elijah Lim in support. Still Maresh. Gabriel Quack tries to help out at the back, but Moresh still manages to get it to Darren Tay. Now Isdin, what kind of pass can Isdin find? The answer is not a good one. Isdin is usually so impressive in those situations. We'll have work to do alongside Ferdows. Here's Diego Lopez, gets it wide to Haikul. And that was a dangerous challenge over on that far side from Ilhan Noor. He's already on a yellow, remember, but he just about got away with it. George Felipe, Barry Maguire picks it up. Maguire, at the moment, seems to have crossed back into a midfield role here. Hougang have levelled it up. Kaishu Yamazaki, a former Lion City sailor, has got the equaliser after Zuzu had given Balestier an early lead. So reigning goals at the moment at Hougang. I think most people thought that this would be the game that would give us the most goals tonight. Not proving to be the case so far. Ichikawa to Isdin. Well, it's Isdin now that seems to have elected to drop deep. In fact, they've changed things around here because it's almost now a back three with Maguire. Isdin holding the centre of that back three. And Ichikawa, an early tactical alteration, maybe from Noor Ali, maybe reacting to that early yellow card from Ilhan Noor. Meanwhile, Diego Lopez picks this up. That could spell danger. And Lopez is caught late and has a tumble. And now the referee will give the free kick, and there's going to be another yellow card out here. It's Ferdows Kazman who's going to join Ilhan Noor in the book, and they're going to have to be very careful here, Geylang. Two players that are going to have tackling on their agenda for the remaining 70-plus minutes in the book. Jalan is over this free kick. Gabriel Quack, wouldn't be surprised if he plays this short. Look at the space. If you look at the wider shot here, Gabriel Quack can pick this up and easily, with only Elijah Lim standing there, take this to the byline if that's the angle they choose. Gabriel Quack is loitering. Chardin's over it. They've got that tactic of parking Haikul right on the penalty spot to move out, and they do exploit that space as well. They should. Gabriel Quack to the byline. And Barry Maguire does very, very well there, because they gave Gabriel Quack all the space in the world to come down that right-hand side. Now Maguire up against Stipe, and that free kick will go the way of the Geylang International, who've only won 2 games this season, and the 2 games they've won were against the bottom 2, Tanja Bagara opening day and against the Young Lions here 2 weeks ago, but they've had their moments. It was a much improved performance off the back of some shocking runs, really, when they only went down narrowly to Tampines on our first Friday night fixture of the season in that cracking East Coast derby that the Stags won 3-2. Here's Isdin. Isdin has to show strength here. Was that handball from Isdin? It was. Isdin handling right on the edge of the area. He's complaining, but the replay will tell us I think it did strike his arm. Under the circumstances, may have dodged a bullet, not picking up a yellow for this. Yeah, it's handball. I mean, it's unfortunate to an extent, but the referee's got to give it there. And now Gabriel Quack is over this one rather than Chardin. It's perfectly primed for Gabriel Quack's left foot, and the debutant goalkeeper here, Sanders Suragen, is going to have to be on his mark. They've got options to outswing the corner with Chardin or with a 2-man wall to navigate. I wouldn't be surprised if Gabriel Quack goes for goal himself. Remember, he's already bagged the goal of the month for April. Can he come up with an early contender for the AIA goal of the month for May? Gabriel Quack or Chardin? Looks for all the world that it'll be Gabriel Quack. Gabriel Quack! Doesn't get past the head of Moresh. Gabriel Quack with a throw. Nice fancy footwork. Lovely run from Saifullah. Dicked in by Diego Lopez looking for Stipe, but Geylang survive again. And they come away themselves here with a run on from Moresh, who's got George Felipe and Hassan Sunny, who is quick off his line to get past. Hassan Sunny to Anik Roshan. Anik Roshan with a weak pass. It's come straight to Ferdows. Ferdows with Amy. George Felipe straight in at the back, and it comes to Saifullah. Naikudi not being able to get as far forward as we're used to seeing. certainly in these early stages. 15 minutes in, and it's mission accomplished to this point for Nur Ali. They've yet to have a shot on target, the Sailors. That might change now, though. Haikal Pasha squaring it. Stipe! Wonderful save. It was straight at Sanders Surajan, but he did really well, the young keeper. With Stipe Plazivat bearing down, Haikal Pasha found him with a lovely cross. And Stipe with the first effort on target. It's required a very smart save. Have a look at this. Stipe, either side of the keeper, it's 1-0, but credit Sanders Surajan. He's made his first big save in AIA Singapore Premier League football as another free kick. This time it's Ferdows again. He's got to be so careful. Barry Maguire involved again as well. Diego Lopez, well, we're certainly going to know he's in a game when he wakes up tomorrow morning. And not being afraid to get physical with the record signing. Let's see the referee get the card out there. Confirmation to follow. And there's the young keeper, Sanders Surajan. He's already made a good claim and a good save. That will help his confidence. Gabriel Quack has already had one sighter. Couldn't get past Maresh. Jalan deflected and just over the bar. The keeper would have been beaten, all ends up. The wall did its job, but the deflection could have taken it anywhere. It's taken it for a third corner to the Sailors. Jalan drifted in. Barry Maguire, who's having a great start to life as a centre-back for Geylang, gets it clear. Here's Stipe. Stipe's rather casual cross was blocked, and Darren Tay's gone down, doubled up in pain. Darren Tay in agony on the deck. Are the Sailors going to play on here? No, they're going to belt it out. Credit to Saifullah for seeing Darren Tay was down injured. Just to confirm, I don't believe that Barry Maguire was booked in that little exchange. That's the second time the referee's spoken to him, though, so we'll have to be careful. If you're just joining us, Lion City Sailors making a strong start. There's been a good save already by Sanders Surajan, Ferdows and Ilhan Noor, the son of Nur Ali, in the book already. Meanwhile, over at the Hougang Stadium, Zuzu giving Balestier an early lead, cancelled out by a former Lion City Sailor. Kaishu Yamazaki on the mark for the Cheetahs. Well, that could be problems. If Darren Tay's gone down like that, I don't know whether it's just winded him or what it's done, but I thought for a minute it might be a strange groin problem. Looks like he just might be winded there. Nur Ali encouraging Maresh. It's easy to forget, remember, Maresh is only 22 years of age in age terms in the context of some of the imports that come here. He is on the young side. And he's clearly enjoying life in Singapore. I think it took him a while to settle in. He thrived on the fans being in 2 weeks ago when they won 4-2 against the Young Lions. He was building a very good relationship with the Eagle Ultras. Unfortunately, of course, I'm sure for those of you outside Singapore watching around the world, you're very welcome. And for those in Singapore watching, so frustrating. I know for everyone that we've had to close the doors again of the AIA Singapore Premier League stadiums, but hopefully we'll be able to welcome you back soon. For now, just stay safe, keep those masks on and social distancing. George Felipe. Resh is happy to work hard in that lone roll up top. Here's a tester for Ilhan, who bounced it out for a throw. So 90 minutes in, I think there were plenty of people that would have predicted the Sailors would be in front by now, particularly when they saw the starting lineups, but the young keeper, to this point, has done everything that's been asked of him, and it's not been raining goals here. And again, I don't want to keep harping back to that 8-0 scoreline, but by this point, 4 weeks ago, they were already 2-0 up, about to go 3-0 up, the Lion City Sailors. And what's more, Geylang, as they did in that game, to be fair, have not been without chances coming forward themselves. Only the long-range effort for Maresh so far, but they are showing, I think, the right attitude in trying to get forward in the limited opportunities they get. That was an intelligent lead from Saifullah, but not such an intelligent pass to follow it, as he tried to link up with Haikal. Yeah, Saifullah, who's impressed many. Saifullah Akbar already scored a couple of goals this season, an absolute cracker here in the game against Balestier Khalsa. Oh, Darren Tay isn't going to be able to get to that, and they've coughed up possession inside their own final third. Gabriel Quack, ball on the pitch, so we won't be able to get on with things. And this will suit Geylang. Whenever they can, they are going to try and interrupt and break up the flow of this game, because as we've seen from the Sailors, when they do get into full stride and full flow, they really do go full steam ahead. Well, some trickery tried by Elijah Lim, only succeeds in giving the throw, which will be taken by Anik Roshan. Anik Roshan, another player like Glenong, who's impressed with his limited opportunities so far. That requirement, if you're watching from outside Singapore, that you start with 3 under-23 players, means that sometimes sacrifices have to be made when you're beset by injuries. I think it's a safe bet that if they could have fielded in good faith another under-23 player, Sanders Surajan, would have been on the bench today, and Zainul Gulam would have started, but the injury and unavailability of Wayne Chu has put pay to that. Sanders Surajan just recently completing national service, doing his bit for the nation. Oh, that's a terrible pass, Darren Tay. Stipe picks his spot. 1-0 Lion City Sailors. Darren Tay has put that in a parcel, tied up a pretty ribbon round it, and basically said to Stipe Plazibat, there you go. And the AIA Player of the Month for April has just got his 9th goal of the season, but it was gift-wrapped by Darren Tay. What on earth is going through his mind here? Deary me. Nevertheless, still a great first touch by Stipe Plazibat, and he finished it beautifully. But Darren Tay has had a brain freeze there. And Sanders Surajan, it's not the inexperienced keeper that's to blame, it's the very experienced defender, Darren Tay. And that is exactly what they didn't want. It's all very well conceding some of these stunning goals that the Sailors are capable of scoring, but that one was put on an absolute plate. And Stipe's got 9 for the campaign now, just 2 behind Tomoyuki Doi of Haogang, who are in action tonight, and of course Suboy. We got another couple last night to take him up to 11. To a piece of Boris and Suboy in that game. Now Elijah Lim's trying to get on the end of this. Anik Roshan gets his head to it. It was a very good header. Difficult technique to master that, sending it back. Now Darren Tay is on a recovery mission after that mistake. Maresh. Third house. Back to Barry Maguire. Third house. Maguire. Maresh trying to drop inside to pick it up. Maresh will get a sighted goal here. Maresh! Oh, whistles past the post, not a million miles away. I think we'll give Hassan Sunny the benefit of the doubt that he would have got there, but that's twice now they've given Maresh space, and he is the kind of player that can make something magical happen. You see how he had to drop a little bit deeper here, which helped him lose his marker. It was laid back to him, and that was not a million miles away. It was a nice layoff from Elijah Lim, and Maresh with that right foot from slightly further out than Stipe just finished at the other end. Can't take advantage. Certainly not bomb-proof at the back, the Lion City Sailors. Their results this season a testament to that. Clean sheet against the Young Lions in that tight 1-0 victory last time out a fortnight ago. Clean sheet in the 8-0 against Geylang, obviously. But the only other clean sheet they've kept this season other than that was in the 5-0 win against Tanjung Pagar. Oh, Darren Tay's been gifted it. Unfortunately for him, managed to find a pass with the keeper out of his area as Hassan Sunny claims that back. There is a concern now that they've been breached at that makeshift back line of Geylang International. Might be caught out again, Darren Tay. Having made one bad mistake, can't afford to make another. That's a good advantage play by the referee and brings them back. Amy Recker takes it quickly. I'm not entirely sure he takes it from the right place, but Geylang will take everything they can get for now. The pass just a little bit too heavy for Maresh, and it's behind for a goal kick. Yes, just a little bit too much on that from Fariz Farhan, as we will take the first half hydration break. With the score here, the Lion City Sailors 1, Geylang International 0. Stipe Plazibat's 9th of the season in the 22nd minute after a horror mistake from Darren Tay. But Maresh has had a couple of chances at the other end. You do, though, get the feeling that the Lion City Sailors have plenty more gears to go through yet. Meanwhile, at Haogang 1, Balestier Khalsa 1, early goal from Zuzu for the Tigers, levelled out by Yamasaki for the Cheetahs. Here's Darren Tay's nightmare again. How he can't see Stipe in his vision. Stipe even started to move to anticipate that pass even before Darren Tay had started the backlift. Far too casual. Barry Maguire no chance, and Sanders Surajan even less. Not good, I'm afraid. But at least they've got 65 minutes to try and remedy it. It's that goal that's given us this scoreline. And as things stand, the Lion City Sailors will go to within 1 point of Albrechts tonight. And when you bear in mind the upcoming games for the Sailors after today are Tanjung Pagar and the Young Lions, and when you look at what's coming up for Albrechts, obviously winnable games for the top teams, they all are, but Albrechts have the Young Lions next themselves, followed by Geylang International. So Geylang International against Albrechts, they won't want to go back to our Tampines Hub in a hurry, Albrechts, after what happened to them yesterday, and Geylang will hope to have players back by then. So you could argue if Geylang are at full strength, the Sailors are playing Geylang at the right time, and in a fortnight, Albrechts could be playing them at the wrong time. They went very close to getting something at Geelong East earlier in the season, only going down by a goal to 0 in a game, which they matched Albrechts in. The exception of that, again, mistake and cheap loss of possession that allowed Albrechts to get the only goal in that game. It was scored about 10 minutes to go before half-time on Moresh. They've leveled it up. Well, one mistake at one end, a second one at the other, and straight after the drinks break, against the odds, Geylang International through Moresh, who's got his 7th of the season, have tied things up. Well, here's me getting carried away talking about the Lion City Sailors going to within a point of Albrechts. Geylang International might have something to say about that. Well, the number 5 at one end's had a shocker. Amaral gives it to Hassan Sunny, and what on earth is Hassan Sunny doing there? That's arguably worse than Darren Tay's mistake. Singapore's number 1 with an absolute shocker, and it's not his first one of the season either. Moresh, cool as you like, gobbled up. Another gift wrap present. The 2 goals in this game have been defensive horror shows. Sailors 1, Geylang 1, straight up the other end. They'll try and strike straight back. Here's Lopez, trying to find Heikel, and that's a sensational challenge. There's Moresh with his 7th of the season, levels it up. We need to get back to the live action here because straight off the kickoff, the Lion City Sailors came forward. It was a wonderful tackle, I think, from Ilhan Noor, who's on a yellow card, who has to be so careful with those challenges now. More good work from the youngster, Ilhan. Now for Isfahan. Darren Tay. Elijah Lynn has come off the Geylang man last. It will be a throw to the Lion City Sailors. Well, I hate to say it, but Hassan Sunny, who I'm a huge fan of, as I'm sure everybody is, as the established national goalkeeper, the mistakes have crept into his game. I mean, if you're going to be balanced about the argument, obviously, when you're playing a goal for the Sailors, you might not have that much work to do in some games. It's going to go with the territory, but when you are called upon, you have to step up better than that. Here they come again. Well, this would be something else if they can take the lead. And Moresh is their way again. Moresh! Oh, side netting. They won a corner. And the assistant referee over on that far side disagrees. Well, this is the thing about Geylang. They can be as weak as they like, but when you've got a player of the ability of Moresh, who's outshining Diego Lopez at the moment in this game, let's face it, anything can happen. Lovely back heel from Amy as well. Felipe had to be careful, otherwise he would have been certain to give away the penalty. Gabriel Quack. Nice layout from Stipe to Lopez. Gabriel Quack's not going to get to that. Darren Tay. Well, Darren Tay's got to get this one right, surely. Does well, gets into Ichikawa. Played back by Ferdhouse to Barry Maguire. Well, we've got a game on here, folks, and I don't think many people thought that would be the case. There's also a game on at Hougang. Hougang, who trailed early, have come from behind to lead against Balestier Khalsa by 2-1. Hougang 2, Balestier Khalsa 2. Second goal scorer for the Cheetahs to follow. Hougang beating Balestier by 2-1. Just to correct myself there. Here's Ichikawa. An action-packed night in the AIA Singapore Premier League. Half an hour got in both games. We've already had 5 goals across the 2 matches tonight. It's going to be a throw to Geylang. Well, I'm just getting over the 2 goals. There's so much quality on display from the Sailors. No one would have thought, I think, that they would have made the breakthrough from such a defensive mistake as the one we saw from Darren Tate. And then Hassan Sunny, he was at fault, remember, for one of the Howgang goals, admittedly having to deal with a ropey back pass, but still, nevertheless, didn't get there first to allow Tomoyuki Doi to nip in. And there, he's given Maresh, who wasn't exactly putting him on a huge amount of pressure, Maresh. It was almost like Maresh was rope-a-doping in him to try and be a bit casual, and here they come again down the right-hand side. Just worried out of it there. Was Ilhan Noor, who after picking up the early yellow card is holding his own, the youngster Ilhan Noor. And what I like about the way Geylang are playing here is they're not trying to park the bus. Yes, they're having to keep a mind on defensive duties with having to drop Barry Maguire deep, but when they're getting a chance to come forward, they are coming forward. They know that the Lion City Sailors struggle to keep clean sheets. That's the weakness, the Achilles heel, if you like, of the Sailors. In contrast to Albrechts, the league leaders have only conceded 7 goals all season. And they're in again, and Felipe is given a free kick away, and he's surely in the book for that as well. But was he the final man? The referee's having a long think about it. It's only yellow for Felipe, who's dodged a bullet there. Maresh is down in agony, and this will be a prime piece of real estate for Geylang to try and shock the Singapore Premier League and take the lead. Over the top. Well, that was cynical, wasn't it, from George Felipe? A little bit closer to goal, and if he'd been the last man and outside the area, he could have easily seen red for that. As it is, he gets away with a yellow. Yes, that's been their Achilles heel, going back to that defence. Albrecht's only conceded 7 all season. The Lion City Sailors conceding goal number 11 tonight. And they've got defensive work to do here, because we know Amy can hit them. We know Faris Farhan can hit them. He's got that ability to curl it in, but you would fancy it would be Amy, who can strike a ball sweetly. And the way he's lining up, if it is Amy, he's going to go for power. Amy! Oh, wasted, really. All too easy to telegraph, and it would have to have been something magical, akin to what Chardin produced here against Balestier, to beat the goalkeeper with that kind of pace. Lionel Tan, incidentally, has got the goal for Howgang to give them the go-ahead goal against Balestier Khalsa. Lionel Tan has seen the Cheetahs come from behind inside the first half, his 2nd of the season. Lionel Tan. Well, they're rocked a little bit here, the Sailors, but the one thing you would warn Geylang about is getting a bit overconfident, because Lopez has got them going down the right with Gabriel Quack, who's been ominously quiet so far. The player of the goal scorer of the month is Dio Lopez. Lopez goes down at the edge of the area. No free kick. It was a good challenge, and Ichikawa tries to chest it away, only finds Stipe. Stipe twisting and turning, holding the ball up brilliantly as he always does, but the pass only succeeds in finding Barry Maguire. Referee's going to get them to take that in the right place. Well, it's been a fascinating start, this. The goals have, well, come about by defensive mistakes, but Geylang are matching the Sailors here. Got to give them some credit. It's a good game plan so far executed by Noor Ali. They're being competitive. Another free kick, though. They can't afford to have any more yellow cards. Isdin this time bringing down Diego Lopez, and Isdin asking the question of the referee exactly what it was for. I think Juhaman Zaiton has handled this game well to this point. There's been some potential flashpoints, but they keep presenting these set-piece opportunities to the Lion City Sailors, and not entirely sure just how long they can keep on doing that. This one's not in a hugely dangerous area. kinds of pushing and shoving going on in the area. Barry Maguire, Ichikawa will try and pick up George Felipe. At the moment, George Felipe's goal side of Ichikawa. Referee's going to have 360-degree vision to keep track of this. Jalan with the delivery. They keep planting Heikel on the penalty spot during these free kicks to almost act as a marker. Over the top. Oh, cracks in acres of space and fluffs his lines with the free header. And the flag had stayed down as well. Goal kick. Gabriel Quack's best game of the chance of the match so far. Timed his run perfectly. It was from a narrow angle and Sanders Suajan had closed it down. But he doesn't hit the target. And with 10 minutes to go to the break, Geylang are doing what, when the team sheets came out, even before the team sheets came out, let's face it, are doing what nobody gave them a hope of doing, holding the Lion City Sailors. You remember having their first game today since Aurelio Vidmar left his post to go and coach BG Patum in Thailand. The caretaker, Robin Chitrakar, has been promoted from within. Have that situation, of course, where the team manager is his elder brother, Richard. So the Chitrakar family at the helm of the Sailors, they'll be hoping they can get back in front. Shocking pass straight to Elijah Lim, who sends it over the top looking for Fariz, and Hassan Sunny has to make a decision there, and he makes the right one. I don't think he could have risked waiting for that to go back into the area. But Geylang are buoyed by being in this contest. They're giving their all for Norali as Hougang add a third. Hougang United 3, Balestier Council 1. It's raining goals at the Hougang Stadium. 4 goals already inside the first 37 minutes, and Balestier Council led in that one early, remember. So as things stand in the AIA Singapore Premier League table, Hougang would stay 4th. The Sailors would go above Tampines only at the moment by virtue of goal difference. Goal difference in such a competitive league that we have this season could still very much come into play. The Sailors have the league's best goal difference at the moment on +17, followed by Albrecht Nagata on +16, and then Tampines on +10. And I'm pretty sure that before this game, without being too complacent, the Sailors would have been thinking they make that goal difference a little bit healthier tonight, but never mind the goal difference, they're just going to have to work hard for the 3 points. Ichikawa's picked a brilliant pass there to find the man over on that far side, Amy Recker. Back to Barry Maguire. Ichikawa. What I'm loving about the way Geylang are playing is they keep mixing it up defensively. They seem to have come here with a defensive game plan, and incidentally, in terms of game plans for Geylang International, I can tell you in the stadium, as I understand, he's not officially joined Geylang International yet, but I can tell you, sat in the stands as a member of the observing coaching staff for Geylang International, subject to clearance, is none other than Abbas Saad, the former Malaysian Cup legend for Singapore. Abbas Saad, who flew in from Australia last week, is in the stands, and I'm understanding he will be joining the coaching staff at Geylang, and he would have, I'm sure, have spoken to Norali ahead of this one. Elijah Lim, across the 6-yard box, going to be a chance for Amy! And it's blocked by Naikudin. What a chance that was. My word. Both sides riding their luck, arguably. The Sailors riding their luck a little bit more than Geylang. Their backline is looking more vulnerable through the first 40 minutes than Geylang's makeshift backline, with Barry Maguire playing as a makeshift centre-back and the youngster Sanders Suajan in between the sticks. And I can see Abbas Saad with his pen and paper in the stands, frantically taking notes. Now that could potentially be a dream team, couldn't it? Noor Ali and Abbas Saad. So it's becoming a talked about league now, the AIA Singapore Premier League. Things are happening, exciting things, led of course by Forrest Lee and his ambitious project at the Lion City Sailors, that wonderful training ground that's being built at Mata. But now they've got defending to do again, and Fariz very nearly got the shot away. Comes to Amy. Oh, Amy, shocking pass. Gabriel Quack's been gifted a chance for the Sailors to counter. Stipe to Lopez, 2-on-2 with Quack arriving. Lopez. Oh, Lopez is blocked off by Barry Maguire, who's having some game here at centre-back for the Eagles. Elijah Lim. Yes, that $10 million training complex that the Sailors are building. Wonderful facility. They broke ground on that last month. They've got, they hope, their AFC Cup campaign to come. As of Geylang, remember, Geylang and the Lion City Sailors, these are the 2 AFC Cup representatives of Singapore this season. As dancing through the middle, Amy Recker forces a frantic last-ditch attempt by Felipe to clear the danger, and there's another example of a challenge that could have gone badly wrong and given away a penalty. Look at Amy here. Dances inside Jalan, gets it past Naikudin, and Felipe had to be very, very clever. And this will be Geylang's first corner, and for all that you fear that the Sailors can do damage at corners with the height of George Felipe, Ichikawa's due a goal, isn't he? Yuki Ichikawa, who knows how to get a firm head on a ball. He'll be in the mix for this one. We saw Dan Bennett break his goal-scoring drought against Tanjung Pagar for Tampines a couple of weeks ago. Away by Stipe, who does such good work defending set pieces as well as getting goals at the other end. Maguire sticks a leg out. Oh, that's a wonderful touch, by the way, by Yohao Noor. And all of a sudden it's opened up for Faris Farhan to the byline. Felipe worries him out of it, and Maresh is frustrated. I think that they've had some possession in the final third, Geylang, and none of it's involved him in the last couple of minutes. Barry Maguire, well, look at that from Barry Maguire. He doesn't like the decision, Stipe, but Maguire would have got there regardless of the free kick. The Dutchman's having a superb game at the back for Geylang. Well won by Anik Roshan, but one straight back by Ferdous, and Geylang continue to give as good as they get here. Can they last it out for the 90 minutes? Because the other thing we need to start turning our attention to now is the substitutes benches. There are 4 under-23 players. The only outfield player of any experience that Geylang have on the bench is Chris Van Hughes, and obviously Zainul in goal if they want to make that change, but not that Sander Surijan has done too much wrong. Diego Lopez, oh, Gabriel Quack's in more space. Gabriel Quack, narrow angle. Will be able to hold this up. Gabriel Quack crosses it. Lopez takes it down. Time to strike. Diego Lopez pulls it back to Haikal, who gets it back to Shardan. And Shardan's shot is quite easily blocked. It was a heavy touch to take it away from Faris Farhan, and that's going to be deflected behind for another corner, which will be Geylang's 4th. Yes, and contrast that Geylang bench to the strength in depth the Sailors have. Hafiz Noor, Song Woo-yong, Adam Swandy, Faris Ramli to score upon. And to put it to some perspective, there are only 2 players on the pitch at the moment for Geylang that have scored this season. Maresh, who's got his 7th of the season tonight, and Amy Reka, who's got 3. On the substitutes bench alone, Song Woo-yong and Faris Ramli have been in the goals already this season. Well, after doing all this work, Geylang won't want to go behind just before half-time. And Stipe plays about with a header that's just wide, nearly makes them do just that. Ichikawa on the deck, complaining to the referee he was impeded. There'll be 2 minutes of time to be added on for stoppages, I'm being told, by the wonderful Faranaya, who's downstairs on duty. She'll be speaking to both managers after the game to give you all the latest reactions. You can catch those on the AIA Singapore Premier League social media channels. Maresh, I'm not entirely sure whether he would have been onside, but the ball floats through to Hassan Sunny in any event. Amarul, look at that challenge from Ichikawa. Anik Roshan with the throw. Gabriel Quack heads it on to nobody. Picked up comfortably enough by Ferdous. He gets it back to Barry Maguire. But I don't think I'm being presumptive if I say if they were to go on and get anything from this game, Geylang, bearing in mind the injuries they're dealing with, it would be arguably equally as impressive as the 3-1 win that Hougang had here earlier in the season. And unfortunately, there's plenty of time left in this game, and they've got those strong substitutes to come. Questions will be asked about how quickly they're going to appoint a new manager. So it's extraordinary circumstances and times with COVID-19. But the Sailors, having not managed to win the league despite splashing the cash last year and only finishing 3rd, surely were expected to win the title with ease this year. And Gabriel Quack is penalised for bringing down Darren Tay in what you have to say, against all odds, has been an even contest. In fact, possession-wise, unofficially, I've got Geylang shading over 50% possession, 51 to 49. The shots on goal Well, Geylang have had 6, and the Sailors have had 5. Astonishing when you looked at the starting lineups. If anyone would have told me they'd play 45 minutes and Geylang would have had as much possession as the Lion City Sailors, I just wouldn't have believed it. But it's testament to the way Noor Ali has set this side up. Great to have Noor Ali with us as part of our coverage yesterday ahead of this game. He was with us to give us some great insights into the Tampines Albrechts match. Of course, he switched into game mode today, and so far his side are doing him proud. Now, what can Faris Farhan do with this free kick? Barry Maguire's up for it. They want to be careful because one of the Sailors' strengths is their quick transition and breaking at lightning pace. And with Ichikawa and Barry Maguire both forward for this, just Darren Tay and Ilhan watching shop at the back. My word, what a first half it is at Hougang. Balestier have got one back. Hougang 3, Balestier Khalsa 2. 2 fantastic games tonight in the AIA Singapore Premier League. Faris, body's going down all over the place, and the referee not interested, despite Barry Maguire's protestations that he was brought down by Felipe. And it's a goal kick. Into the final 50 seconds of an incredible first half here. It's an incredible first half at Hougang as well, where it's now 3-2. Idraki, by the way, got Hougang's 3rd, still waiting confirmation on Balestier Khalsa's 2nd goal scorer. Amy Reko, he's been pickpocketed there by Diego Lopez. Will they have enough time to get a strike going? As Amy probably does the right thing in stopping the play there to interrupt Lopez, but Plazimat's got them moving again quickly. Lovely turn inside. Now Anik Roshan, and if they're going to get this goal in the next 10 seconds, they better get going quickly, otherwise the referee's going to blow for half-time here. They won't score like that, and Darren Tay's got over the top, and Maresh can challenge. Now Hassan Sunny's come, and again it was straightforward. He just belted it into Rosie, and that should take us to half-time. Well, what a half it's been here. Incredible stuff. An injury-ravaged Geylang International are holding the big boys of the Lion City Sailors. Stipe Plazimat latching onto a shocking Darren Tate mistake after 22 minutes, and just 5 minutes later, out of nothing, Geylang, who have in fact had more shots on goal incredibly than the Lion City Sailors, leveled it up after Hassan Sunny's howler, which gift-wrapped an equaliser to Maresh. So no question who'll be the happier of the two coaches, but they don't play a game over 45 minutes, they play it over 90. An expensively assembled substitutes bench to call upon. Can the Sailors come out in the second half and put on a better display than they've done in the first 45? Because injury hit Geylang International are giving them a game and some here. It's going to be a fascinating second stanza at the break at Jalan Besar. It's the Lion City Sailors 1, Geylang International 1. Welcome back live to Jalan Besar, where we have got a fascinating second stanza on the horizon, courtesy of two shocking defensive mistakes, one for each side. And we'll get a chance to look back at the best of the action now before we tell you about a crazy first half at Geylang. Here's the first chance of the game. It took them over a quarter of an hour really to open up Geylang International. Beset by injuries, remember. Steep pace, fine left foot effort, well saved by the debutant Sanders Surajan. That was the chance that we thought would open the floodgates in terms of attacking play from the Sailors, but they have not played well. They've looked at times a little bit lost against what essentially is a makeshift Geylang team. Darren Tay, well, he won't want to see this again, will he? Near with any Geylang fan, basically gift wrapping a chance to Stipe Plazabao. He still had work to do, but the finish was sensational, wasn't it, from the edge of the area? Right foot shot past Sanders Surajan. 1-0 Sailors, and then you think with all these injuries that Geylang have got, is this going to be a repeat of the 8-0 demolition from OTH at 4 weeks ago? But it wasn't the case. Incredibly, in this first half, Geylang have had more shots on goal than the Lion City Sailors. And again, my possession percentage stats are unofficial, but I've got it 50-50 in the percentage stakes. Maresh had a couple of chances. Immediately after conceding the goal, he had an effort with his right foot that just went wide of Hassan Sunny's right-hand post. And more to come from Hassan Sunny in a moment, because if you thought Darren Tay's mistake was a shocker, wait till you see what Hassan Sunny comes up with in just a couple of moments in real time, only 4 minutes after this. We saw him cope horrendously with a back pass against Geylang earlier this season. This one, there's no excuse. One touch, and he may as well have kicked it into his own net. Maresh, without really having to work that hard, even though he was loitering with intent, managed to get his 7th of the season to level things up. What on earth is Hassan Sunny doing there? Inexcusable. From this angle, it looks even worse. He can see Maresh clearly. Honestly, it's extraordinary. Singapore's #1 goalkeeper. I love Hassan Sunny to death, but he's got to do better. And arguably, Geylang had just as much of a chance of going in at half-time in front as the Sailors did. That effort from Maresh just glancing into the side netting. The Sailors, in all fairness, have looked promising when they've come forward as well. But as I said, against the makeshift backline that's involving the youngster Noor Ali's son, Ilhan Noor, filling out at the back, and Barry Maguire having to drop very deep. It's been, well, my stats don't have it 9 shots to 6. I've got it 6 shots to 5, but obviously it depends how you interpret the stats. Our good friends at Genius coming up with these stats. They've got it 9-6. I've got it slightly closer than that. Certainly more corners for the Sailors. They've had 4 to Geylang's 1. And the yellow cards, keep an eye on them. George Felipe for the Sailors and Ilhan Noor and Firdous for Geylang International. Now, if you think it's been hectic here, wait to see what's been happening at the Geylang Stadium. After 3 minutes, Zuzu giving the visitors the lead. Then 3 goals in quick succession from Geylang, making it 3-1. Yamasaki Lionel Tan and Idraki Adnan before Faisal Rafi, right on half-time, has made it really interesting at Geylang Stadium. Don't forget that game is also live on Singtel StarHub, the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page and One Play Sports. But we're focusing here at Jalan Besar. An absorbing second 45 on the way. Can the star-studded substitutes bench of the Lion City Sailors get past this makeshift, injury-ravaged Geylang International? We'll find out next. Stay with us.
AIA Vitality, your health is every choice you make. We are part of a global wellness program with over 1.65 million members in AIA across Asia. And in Singapore, we have more than 100,000 members on AIA Vitality. Members live healthier by knowing their health through online health assessments and screenings. They improve their health by logging exercises and enjoying the rewards to keep them going. And indeed, members are making improvements in their health. Even the vitality age gap has narrowed to less than a year. Best of all, you earn points for every activity. The higher your status, the greater the rewards, including up to 15% off insurance premium on selected AIA plans. To keep you going, there is the weekly fitness challenge with personalized targets to help pace and improve your fitness. When you complete the challenge, you get a spin on the Vitality Wheel to earn Vitality Coins, which you can use at the marketplace. That's not all. You also earn AIA Vitality Points for completing these activities. And very soon, you'll be on your way to Platinum status. And we sweeten the deal further with many exciting partner benefits that you can enjoy. With AIA Vitality, nothing gets better than a healthier you. So get onto AIA Vitality today because your health is every choice you make.
Welcome back live to Jalan Besar. We have got a fascinating second 45 on the horizon here because under strength, injury ravaged, Geylang International are holding the billion-dollar boys of the Lion City Sailors 1-1 at the break, and it'll be fascinating to see what caretaker boss Robin Chitrakar does from the bench here. He's got a substitutes bench packed full of experienced internationals and star players, whereas Geylang International's subs bench is really bereft of any significant experience, with the exception of the goalkeeper Zainal Gulam and of course Chris Van Heusen. They've been injury hit. They can only name 5 outfield players on the bench today, Geylang. But bearing in mind these teams met 4 weeks ago and Geylang lost, I should say, by 8 goals to 0. The Sailors' performance has been very much under par. All at sea, you might say. But they don't allocate the points in the league table after 45 minutes. They do it after 90, and all will be forgotten, including Hassan Sunny Shocker, if they can come good in the second 45. Remember, a win tonight will take them to within a point of Albirex, and that's what all the Lion City Sailors crew would have been expecting. It's all hands on deck in this second half. That man Maresh with his 7th of the season, levelling Stipe Plazimat's 9th of the campaign. Both goals coming from defensive mistakes. Darren Tay guilty for the Eagles and Hassan Sunny guilty for the Sailors. And don't forget the other game going on live at the same time, Hougang United leading Balestier Khalsa by 3 goals to 2. An action-packed game there, 5 first-half goals, and a crucial one just before half-time to keep Marko Kravic's Balestier Khalsa within touching distance. How important could that Faisal Rafi goal prove to be? There's Barry Maguire, who's put in a shift and some at centre-back. More accustomed, of course, to seeing him running midfields, but he's had to work so hard alongside Darren Tate and Yuchi Ichikawa. Ilhan Noor, the youngster, picked up a yellow card early. And speaking of yellow cards, I've just been speaking to some of the journalists here. There's a consensus that maybe George Felipe was fortunate not to pick up a red card for his foul, as Geylang were pushing and he appeared to be the last man. So plenty of talking points already. Can this Geylang International Eagles squad that may be hit by injuries but have got a full tank of team spirit come through here and get something from this game? And can that man, Robin Chitrakar, mastermind a second half Sailors display that's better than, let's be honest, than the first half's rather abject 45-minute performance? Stipe Plazimat, 1 more to go to double digits. If he can complete his hat-trick tonight, he'd be joint top with Tomoyuki Doi and Suboy at the top of the goal-scoring charts. Amy Recker just having a chat with match official Juhaman Zaiton. You do get a feeling there's still maybe a red card that might prove to be the turning point in this game. Thankfully, we haven't seen as many red cards as we might have done in previous seasons so far this campaign. Most recent one that comes to mind in my mind was Bruno Encevic for Balestier Kalsar, and ironically that got reversed on a period as well. So the games have been played in a good spirit, but this looks to me like the kind of game that could have some twists and turns still to come yet. George Felipe, the Sailors in the white-blue shorts playing right to left. The Geylang in the pink-black shorts playing left to right. Amaral. Anik Roshan. And straight away they're away beside Fula, who's bundled over by Isdin, who doesn't like the call. But it's another free kick, and they can't keep giving away these set pieces in their own final third, Geylang. They've been pretty timid with them so far, the Sailors, but with the quality they've got, they will surely make one of them count. Isdin, who's had to work very hard in midfield. Of course, just to remind you, the players absent through injury or other reasons tonight for Geylang, the likes of Harith Kanadi, Convalius, Silvano Convalius, almost becoming like a rare bird when you go bird watching. Silvano Convalius, not seen much of in Faisal Roslan. They've coped with the absentees well to this point, but there's still a long, long way to go as they're underway at Hougang in the second half as well. Gabriel Quack, who, along with Chardin, have shared the set pieces. I don't know what that was, but whoever Chardin was trying to pass it to wasn't on the same page, and Anik Roshan has to go back to Hassan Sunny. Hassan Sunny looking for Gabriel Quack. And the throw goes the way of Geylang. Well, having seen Tampines do them a favour yesterday, the Sailors, and get a point off of Albirex, they will be kicking themselves, the Sailors, here if they can't take advantage and pick up all 3 points. Maresh, played in by Isdin. Now Barry Maguire, who's been a standout for me alongside Maresh so far in the first half. Oh, that's a poor pass by Ilhan Noor, picked off easily by Saifullah Akbar, who in that Balestier game scored a cracking goal in the second half of that match. Oh, just bundled off the ball there is Haikal Pasha, but no free kick, and Isdin can get it clear. Looking for Amy, who controls it well. Knocks it inside to Faris Farhan. Chardin backs up brilliantly to get it to Felipe. Now Chardin will look for the return from Naikudin. And one of the main differences watching this Sailors team under Robin Chitrakar in comparison to the last few displays of Vidmar's bet is Naikudin's not got forward nearly as much. Obviously that might have something to do with Glenong being replaced by Haikal Pasha today. Oh, good pass by Chardin. First timer releases the aforementioned Haikal. He's got options in the box here, Haikal. He's trying to jockey Ilhan Noor. The inexperienced Ilhan Noor is skinned. He squares it to Quack. Point blank save by Sander Surajen. Well, what a display this youngster's having. Not much he could do about the goal, but that's twice now. He's made point-blank saves, albeit they were straight at him. His reflexes still served him well, and he caught a break on the rebound. Meanwhile, up the other end, Maresh. Looks for the run of Amy, and Amy's got goal side here. And very nearly got in front of George Felipe, who's had to concede the corner. Well, what about that save from Sander Surajen? Yes, straight at him, I know, but after Haikal had skinned Ilhan Noor, Gabriel Quack from just in front of the penalty spot forced a really smart reaction save from Sander Surajen. He wouldn't have known much about this, but got those hands up just in the nick of time, and Lopez, the rebound taken off him by Yuki Ichikawa. So what can they do with their second corner of the game here, Geylang? It'll be delivered in by Faris Farhan. Maguire and Ichikawa up from the back. Didn't breach the first line of defence. They get it clear only as far as Isdin. Now they have to be careful in these positions because obviously Maguire and Ichikawa are committed forward, so they don't want to give away cheap possession. Isdin over the top. Ichikawa is in that unfamiliar role of left winger and does enough to force Anik Roshan to give up the throw. Over the top. Nice pass that. They've managed to bring in Firdhouse here. Promising from Geylang, Firdhouse. Chips in the middle. Naikudin with a header clear. Picked up by Ilhan Noor. Oh, what about that for a flick? Maresh is offside, it won't count. Well, that would have been some goal. And it was fine margins, but the flag is up against Maresh, and the assistant referee had it up straight away. I wouldn't mind seeing the replay. Let's have a look at this. The assistant referee has got that spot on. Not by much, and it was a wonderful finish by Maresh, by the way, but a warning sign for the Lion City Sailors. Well, let me put this into context for you. The Lion City Sailors have a player in their squad they paid $3 million for. When I saw the team sheets come out and I researched, as we break off for Maresh, this might get worse for the Sailors. Maresh could have done better there, but Maresh could have had 4 in this game. Going back to the context of the gulf in resources to these squads, yes, I know I've mentioned the very promising coaching signing of Abbasad for Geylang, but with the injuries they've got to their marquee signing in the close season, Silvano Convalius, when I was researching the team sheets when they came out tonight, obviously I knew all about Diego Lopez, the likes of Hassan Sunny, Stipe Plazibat, Gabriel Krapin, all about them. But when I saw the team sheet, Sanders Surajan in goal for Geylang, when I researched his name, I typed it into Google, as everybody would do, and the only thing I could find was a player registration as a striker in the ESPZ League. Now, that's not going to be obviously the only knowledge that the footballing community have of him, but that's an example of the difference in levels that we're dealing with in terms of the setups at the clubs, and it's Geylang that are excelling themselves here. I'm being told that the Sailors are about to make a change. They're going to introduce Faris Ramley. He's going to replace Haikal. Interesting that Faris Ramley's the first man they call upon rather than Song Yong or Adam Swandy. That was something else that might be a tad different to the regime of Aurelio Vidmar, where Faris Ramley tended to be used later on in the substitution rotation. Here's Gabriel Quack. Diego Lopez, the $3 million man, gets it out wide to Haikal. Haikal's about to go off, but he go off having scored the go-ahead goal. Haikal squares it, and there's no white shirt to pick it up. Jalan! It goes just wide. Well, the change will now come, as that will be Haikal's last contribution. He's replaced by Faris Ramley. Faris Ramley with the only goal he scored so far this season since returning to players' football in Singapore from the penalty spot against Tanjung Bagara, a penalty that Stipe let him take when Plazibat was on a hat-trick as well. The change made just 7 minutes in. I don't think there'll be a huge rush from Norani to go to his bench. One imagines if he's fully fit, Chris Van Heusen will play a part at some point, if only to bring on a fresh pair of legs. Over the top by Maguire. Amy's going to get to this. Hassan Sunny's backtracking. Amy into the area. Amy! Well, they've had the better chances, haven't they, in this game, Geylang? Hassan Sunny was frantically backtracking as Geylang advanced, and Amy Recker, I bet he wished he'd have that one back again. Lopez, beaten to it. They're all at sea, the Sailors. Here's Naikudin. Picked up in the middle by Saifulu, who's got some space, but not for long. Ferdhouse with a wonderful, physically robust challenge that dispossesses him. Here's Istin, who's done a great unheralded job, Istin, of holding it together in midfield for Geylang International. Here's Ilhan Noor, another player that deserves a huge amount of credit to this point. And back it goes to another player, Sanders Surajan, who's acquitted himself brilliantly on his Singapore Premier League debut. Here's Ichikawa. Over the top, Ichikawa, that's an intelligent pass as well, and well watched by Yannick Roshan. It's still landed with a pink shirt though. And they'll still manage to get the throw. Well, it astounds me how susceptible the Sailors have been defensively all season against teams other than Tanjung Bagara and the Young Lions, and they could be susceptible again here. Had to give credit where it's due, actually. In that game that was played 4 weeks ago when they did lose 8-0, I think the commentator Shazad Hark accurately said at the time that it wasn't a fair reflection on the game, really. Every time the Sailors went forward, they scored a goal. That's not been the case today. That ball's back behind Lopez now. Faris Ramley's first touch. Faris Ramley looking in the area. That's taken a deflection, and Stipe tried to improvise with a finish but couldn't get anything to it. And Sanders Surajan gathers it well. But there's got to be more goals in this game, surely. The question is, which end are they going to come at? Every time Aresh and now Amy are in possession in the final third, they look like they're capable of scoring. Arguably looking more dangerous at the moment than Stipe and Lopez. Here's Ferdhouse. Barry Maguire. Looking for Aresh. Chests it down brilliantly. Sent wide by Ferdhouse. Darren Tay. They're trying to switch play now because Amy's in some space. Now what they can do here will be interesting. Ilhan Noor allows Amy to cut inside. Amy can pull the trigger. Amy Rekha straight at Hassan Sunny. Well, they are carving this expensively assembled Sailors side up on the flanks and through the middle here. It's an open and attractive game. Who is going to score next? It might not even be the winner of the next goal. Faris Ramley. Lopez. His pass is picked off comfortably by Yuichi Ichikawa. Here's Istin. Oh, Stipe Plazimac's come up with this. Saifullah, Lopez, Faris Ramley, Plazimac waits in the middle, Gabriel Quack 2, Diego Lopez takes the shot, Ichikawa puts his body on the line, back to Shardan, Saifullah! Well, they've pushed their luck, but they've taken their chance, and Saifullah with a screamer. His third of the campaign, and the Sailors do indeed get the go-ahead goal. 10 minutes into the second half, Faris Ramley squared it back. Ichikawa flung himself at Lopez's shot, but Shardan laid it off to Saifullah, who was given too much space, and again, Sanders Surajan, not much he could do about that. Intelligent layoff from Shardan. Saifullah, one touch, picked the spot, right foot, bang. And the Sailors lead, and as it stands, they're back to within 1 point of Albrechts at the top. Now the question is, how much petrol of this injury-ravaged Geylang team got left in the tank? And can the Sailors now kick on from this? You get the feeling they'll need another goal to secure the 3 points. But Saifullah Akbar's third of the season has at least given them back the lead. It was a lead in the first half that they took. They could only hold on to for 5 minutes. Loose ball picked up, and I do hope that's not taken the wind out of Geylang's sails, because if it has, this could get ugly very quickly, because for all their flaws at the back, they are ruthless going forward, the Sailors. Here's Faris Ramley, creates space well. Barry Maguire stands up brilliantly. Shardan. Amarul. Anik Roshan. Oh, that's a needless header behind for a corner. Ilhan taking no chances, but maybe just a question of the communication between the young keeper and the young fullback there. Certainly both players have far from disgraced themselves in this one, under the huge spotlight of coming to Jalan Besar, the home of the Sailors, and trying to get something when they've got as many injuries as they have. I'm being told there's a change on the way for Geylang, with Chris van Heusen entering for Elijah Lim shortly. That change won't happen just yet as they defend this corner. Corners swung in. Felipe! And Amarul had it there for him. Felipe said it wasn't on target, but Amarul was in the right place to get the touch to maybe divert it home. Now, Chris van Heusen. This will give them another attacking outlet, Geylang, and a fresh pair of legs, crucially, because whereas the Lion City Sailors have the strength and depth to use all 3 substitutes without missing a beat, after Van Heusen, this bench of Geylang looks threadbare. They've got Zainul Gulam, the goalkeeping sub, Tan Kenta, Furkan Rauf and Kieran Teo as the other outfield options, so no question that Van Heusen was always most likely to be the first one called upon. Van Heusen replacing Elijah Lim. Maguire. Oh, Faris Ramley, who's made a difference since he's come on, has pinched it from them. Faris Ramley, Stipe wants it, Faris Ramley. And that was good work from Isdin to clear that particular passage of danger. Still absorbing this, but since they've got the goal, they've looked a little bit more confident and steady on themselves, the Lion City Sailors. They rode a couple of hairy moments at the start of the second half, but they've now taken the lead. Here's Naikudin getting forward for the first time really in this game. Anik Roshan! Oh, the keeper's nearly spilled it. But credit to Sanders Surajan for recovering there. It's the kind of shot that comes in that can be a nightmare for a keeper. I think he would have been aware that there were sailors bearing down on him for the rebound. And having initially spilled it, he recovered just in time. That would have been some score from Anik Roshan if it had slipped through Sanders Surajan's fingers. Into the final half hour we trot. Incidentally, no further goals in the second half at Hougang. Hougang United 3, Balestier Khalsa 2. As Ilhan Noor will come up to take the throw. Geylang have got to still believe here, having come from behind once, they're capable of doing it again. Van Heusen adds an extra threat down the other flank where Amy Reck has already caused problems down one. They tried to get that through to Maresh. Now Maresh hasn't been as involved in the second half as he was the first. That's something they need to change in the final 29 minutes here if they're going to turn this round. Maresh came up with a couple of important late goals in the win here against the Young Lions 2 weeks back. And that's going to be a needless concession of possession as Naikudin is now over the ball. Naikudin with the throw. Jalan. Amarul. Maresh nearly caught him out there. Now they get it back to Hassan Sunny. Now Maresh is surely going to close down Hassan Sunny after what happened in the first half. Hassan Sunny not making the same mistake, once bitten, twice shy. The Sailors need another here, I fancy. If they get it, you can probably start inking the points in the ledger. Look at this from Saifullah. Oh my word, it's glorious. Saifullah, wonderful save. Sanders Surajan. Well, this youngster, Saifullah Akbar, has really come into his own this season. Already tonight got his third of the season. He's coming back from an offside position, but Gabriel Quack is onside. And I thought Quack was onside and Saifullah off there, but what about that mazy run from Saifullah? Borderline. Again, the assistant referee. Officials have had a good game tonight. To some debate maybe as to whether George Felipe was lucky to escape a red card in the first half, but shown yellow cards when they've been warranted, but not been too card happy. Still just the 3 cards that were all shown in the first half. Felipe for that debatable challenge. And Ferdous and Ilhan Noor very early on. Ilhan Noor's coming in the first 5 minutes. Now, Sanders Surajan is down injured. I can see Zainul Ghulam is quite thoroughly warming up with gloves on as well, so I don't know if Sanders is okay to continue. He hasn't done anything that would really warrant you wanting to replace him unless he was injured. Of course, normally you'd say that would be madness to replace a goalkeeper, but it's slightly more complicated than that if you're new to Singapore football, because obviously only 3 substitutes allowed, not like some of these other leagues in Asia where I think incorrectly they're still allowing the post-COVID-19 5 substitutes to be used. He hasn't really got many options on the bench to throw on here, Noor Ali. So if he decided that Sanders Surajan was suffering a little bit or was capable of coming up with a mistake that might send them further behind, it wouldn't be the strangest decision in the world to throw Zainul on. As it stands, Sanders Surajan, who couldn't really have done much about the 2 goals, is okay to continue. Over the top, looking for George Felipe, finds his head. Back from Jalan to Hassan Sunny, and now Maresh will close him down once more. Hassan Sunny, Gabriel Quack. This has not been one of Gabriel's better nights so far. Amarul. That's a late challenge through an Amarul. Will draw the free kick. Chris Van Heusen acting like he's not entirely sure what it was for. Yeah, they've got Van Heusen down the left, Amy down the right, and Maresh through the middle now. So, bearing in mind, to all intents and purposes, they're throwing caution to the wind. You would expect that we would see more goals in the remaining 25 minutes. We'll be taking the second half hydration break shortly as well. As Ichikawa rises high above Stipe. Only finds a white shirt, though. The increasingly influential Saifullah gets it to Diego Lopez. Faris Ramli's impressed since he's come on as well. Faris Ramli cuts inside and has it taken off him by Isdin, who then will manage to win the throw by getting that clearance deflected off Faris Ramli's toes. Well, I mentioned in the first half the upcoming fixtures for the Lion City Sailors. Next week here against Tanjung Pagar, then the week after that here against the Young Lions. So a trio of home games. If they can pick up 9 points, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. They will be top. Meanwhile, cross comes in. Amaral gets it clear. Only as far as Darren Tay. Darren Tay gets it into Amy Recker. Amy, space for the shot here. Amy Recker! Oh, it's just over the bar. When it left his foot, it looked destined for the top left-hand corner, but just rose too high too quickly. Amy, wonderful first touch. Played Naikudin out the game, created the space for the shot. And initially, it looked like it was goal-bound, just flew over at the last second. Ilhan Noor with a header. Strong header as well. And now there'll be a free kick, I think, Faris Ramli on Ilhan Noor, who's in some discomfort. Well, if they do go on to get nothing from this Geylang International, you have to feel a bit for Noor Ali. I'm sure some of the displays have got exactly what they've warranted, but when you look back to that 3-2 loss against Tampines, a shade unfortunate to come away from there with nothing. Then obviously beat the Young Lions, and now they've really given the Lion City Sailors against all odds a real fright. I'm being told there's another change coming from the Sailors, incidentally. It's going to be an introduction for Akari Abdullah, replacing the youngster, Anik Roshan. So Akari about to come into the fray to try and shore up that back line that maybe he's going to start giving them some problems with Van Heusen up against Anik Roshan. Now it looks like Robin Chitrakar, the caretaker boss, wants to negate that by introducing the more experienced Akari in that role. Leonard Coe just administering some hydration to Ilhan Noor before he can come back on. Now here's Van Heusen in that matchup with Anik Roshan. Decides against taking the youngster on there. Lovely drop deep from Maresh, who's being closed in here by a gaggle of Sailors players. One of them is Anik Roshan, who does really well to get that back inside Geylang territory. Incidentally, still no extra goals in the second half. It's still Haogang 3, Balestier Khalsa 2. All those goals scored in the opening stanza. As here Barry Maguire drives it forward. We have had a second goal here. A wonderfully struck finish from Saifullah. The go-ahead goal for the Lion City Sailors, but Geylang could easily have taken the lead before that and probably should have been level since after that Amy Recher effort that went over the bar. Here's Saifullah, the standout for the Sailors at the moment. Lopez has been quiet for the most part, but Diego Lopez goes to the middle here and eventually has it taken off his toes, and then a delayed whistle from the referee gives a free kick, much to the disappointment of the Sailors, who are snapping at his heels. Here's the change, Anik Roshan, who continues to impress the youngster. He's lasted 68.5 minutes here before he's replaced by Akari Abdullah. And there's another illustration of the strength in depth that the Sailors have got for their second half displays. Akari Abdullah, of course, member of that Lions 12 team. He's been a part of the national setup as well. His father, of course, the former Singapore international, Abdullah Noor. I'm sure his family are watching with the stadium closed behind closed doors. With the upsurge, unfortunately, in COVID-19 cases, let's hope that situation settles itself and we can welcome fans back into the AIA Singapore Premier League stadiums as soon as possible. Faris Ramli is under this, waiting for it, and Faris Ramli will take it down quite beautifully. He's being closed down quickly though, Faris Ramley. But look at this from Faris Ramley. That's going to be a card, I fancy. It's going to be a card for Chris Van Heusen, who becomes the 4th player to go in the book. Wonderful work from Faris Ramley. And Van Heusen, well, that's an industrial strength challenge, shall we call it that? So Jalan over to take it. Stipe waits in the middle, Plazibat with a goal in the first half, needs 1 more to go for double digits in the campaign, 2 more to join Tomoyuki Doi and Subo at the top of the scoring charts. You remember, is the AIA Player of the Month for April, Stipe Plazibat. So already got 1 goal here, as that's headed away by Maresh. Only as far as Saifullah. Did that take a deflection on the way through? It did. It will be a corner. Let's have a look at this. Saifullah, who did it come off? Oh, it's that for East Farhan. It's come off as it's gliding through. I don't think it changed the trajectory, so an unfortunate corner to concede. The Sailors 5th. There's Balestier Khalsa have levelled it up. Hougang United 3, Balestier Khalsa 3 at Hougang. Here, the Sailors with the advantage. Can they get the goal to give themselves some breathing space? The corner comes in, Felipe, but there was a push, and a clear push at that on Yuki Ichikawa in the area. And regardless, Felipe sent the header wide. Hydration break time, and we'll have that hydration break with just 19 minutes to go. A chance for Norali to rally the troops and have one last push at the Sailors' suspect defence. They've got the goal they needed from Saifullah to go ahead. Can they now hang on to that lead as Felipe's tangle with Ichikawa is penalised by the referee, Jerman Zaitan. And again, just to repeat that, I think maybe a debate will go on about Felipe not getting the red card in the first half. I don't think it's a cast iron red by any stretch, but by and large, the officials have had a wonderful game here today. As we get a look back at Shardan laying it off for Saifullah, who struck that so sweetly, and he must be in contention, Saifullah, for some recognition in terms of Young Player of the Month contention for May. He certainly made a great start to May with that strike, coming as it does after he played a pivotal point in the 4-1 win against Balestier 2 games ago. So Liquid taking on this Geylang international team that have only gone to the substitutes bench once, and I think unless they get an equaliser and they're trying to break up play late on, that might be the extent of the substitutions they make as well. The Sailors still have, one assumes, Sungul Yong or Adam Swandi to call upon. It's inconceivable that Sungul Yong can't get game time, a player of his calibre and ability, an all-round game. But that's comes with the territory now. If you're running the Sailors, you've got to keep a lot of players happy who would walk into any other team in the AIA Singapore Premier League. Isdin. So many players have impressed for Geylang tonight. But it's going to count for nothing unless they can get the equaliser. That ball intended for Maresh goes into the path of Amaral. Maresh will chase down Hassan Sunny. George Felipe. They're keeping possession a tad better in this second half, the Sailors, in fairness to them. Stipe will chase down Barry Maguire, who gets it back to Sanders Suragen, who's going to be under pressure here from Diego Lopez. And just got it away in the nick of the time, and they'll get the throw as well, Geylang. It came off the Brazilian last. To the back of Faris Farhan. Felipe, who's on a yellow card, remember. Plazibat. Van Heusen, also on a yellow card. Faris Ramley gets past Van Heusen, but not Barry Maguire, and that will be a goal kick. Good work from the Dutchman, who's excelled as a makeshift centre-back for the Eagles tonight. For the Sailors, well, Saifullah's been wonderful. Plazibat, a little bit understated, but still solid. Gabriel Crack's not had his best game. Lopez has drifted in and out. Faris Ramley's definitely made a difference since he's been involved. Shardan's been steady, but not spectacular. And George Felipe, again, a performance today that suggests there's still mistakes in the Brazilian, as Maguire goes over the top, looking for Maresh or Amy, and getting neither of them. Amy and Van Heusen have switched flanks in the last couple of minutes. Plazibat, Lopez, they've got that overlapping runner on the far side who they pick out beautifully. It's Akari, the substitute. Akari to Gabriel Quack. Into the final 15 minutes we go. What a challenge from Yuki Ichikawa. So a 6-goal thriller in progress at the Hougang Stadium. 3-3, Hougang Balestier. Here, this game, like that one, still on a knife edge. George Felipe. Naikudin. Can tell you Kiki Krajcek got the equaliser for Balestier. Here's Stipe Plazibat. Saifullah. Back to Amaral. Amaral sprays it wide to Akari. They are keeping possession better now than they have done previously in the game, the Sailors. But having said that, Diego Lopez has got himself in some trouble there and is perhaps fortunate to get away with winning the free kick. And the referee wants to come over and just administer a telling off, I fancy. Isdin, a little bit unfortunate there. Now we've got the player down with cramp. Well, unsurprisingly, the shot count has gone up now to be in the Lion City Sailors' favour in this second half. I think they're just running out of petrol. Faris Farhan is out on his feet. I'm not sure he's injured so much as maybe beset by cramp and exhaustion. You can see on his left-hand leg there is a mark there. Maybe he's picked up a graze. And if they do have to make another change, it's a big question mark over what change they make. And I'm being told Faris Farhan is going to be replaced now by Azri Suhaili. So Faris Farhan, not sure whether he's injured or just exhausted. He's worked very hard. He's going to be replaced by number 18, Azri Suhaili, another of the underage players, 18 years of age. Can he bring something to the party in these closing stages? Felipe is climbing all over Ichikawa again there. And again, the header is wide. He's such a handful at set pieces. I mean, it's basic maths, isn't it? He's taller than everyone else. He's got good elevation, and he makes a real nuisance of himself. I'm sure there'll be SPL coaches all over Singapore trying to work out how to deal with his sort of set pieces. Ichikawa's done a good job, to be fair. And even when he's got the better of Ichikawa Felipe, the Japanese has won the free kick in most cases. Ichikawa. Isdin, who, like so many of these Geylang players tonight's had to be incredibly versatile. Third House has put in a shift as well. Van Heusen keeps that in brilliantly, Van Heusen. That definitely stayed in. They don't like it, the Sailors, but it was in. Van Heusen, how about that for a pass? Can they drag it down? Oh, Amy Recker just couldn't gather it. Let's have a look at that if we can on the touchline again, because I'm convinced that stayed in play. The Sailors were furious on this near side, saying it had gone out of play, but it stayed in, didn't it? You can see the whole ball didn't cross the line. Still no more movement from the subs bench from the Sailors, with that third change still open to them with 12 minutes to go. And they still need another goal, you fancy, to kill this off for sure. Barry Maguire's headed to Faris Ramley. Maguire picks up the pieces brilliantly. What a shift the Dutchman's put in here. Maguire looks up for Maresh. Maresh controls it brilliantly. Felipe, though, keeps his eye on the ball and gets it to Jalan. Gabriel Quack gets it to Lopez. Look at the space on the far side for Akari. It's open space between Akari and the Galley International goal. Plazibat's arriving. Akari, Plazibat misses it! And Lopez puts it home, but the flag's already up for offside. And Geylang will survive to fight another 12 minutes, knowing they just need one more to grab an equaliser. Akari ran into open space, and I think Plazibat was offside initially. Lopez would have been onside, but Plazibat wasn't. Meanwhile, up the other end, here we go again. It's the substitute. Azri. Now got to just work on getting hold of the ball here, Geylang. Have they got enough in reserves for a last 10-minute push to get an equaliser? We had a thrilling 2-2 draw at our Tampines hub yesterday. A last gasp penalty for Tampines and Boris Kapinovic, saving the Stags a point and holding the defending champions and current league leaders before the game was postponed. It will be played at a scheduled rescheduled date. It was 1-1 between the Jaguars and the Young Lions over at the Geylang Stadium. Currently 3-3 between the Cheetahs and the Tigers. Here, are we potentially going to get a clean sweep of draws in the AIA Singapore Premier League this weekend? They've got 10 minutes to fashion another one of the chances that they have created in plentiful supply in the previous 80 minutes, Geylang. Can the Sailors' defence hold out? Including with the throw. Well, that's a weak touch. It's given an opportunity to Ferdows, who's managed to get it to Maresh. Now Isdin. Amy trying to flick it round for Asri, but not happening on that occasion. Now Isdin using his experience to try and get the better of Diego Lopez, and getting the better of Diego Lopez here. Well, the free kick's gone the other way. The referee, I think, was just putting his hand up there. The referee has gone to give the free kick to Geylang, and he has a chat with Diego Lopez as well. I think that arm went out in the wrong direction just to calm things down initially. So Isdin's over it. Now they'll throw Ishikawa forward. Barry Maguire. Isdin. Well, he's found Van Heusen and acres of space, but the referee had already indicated they had to wait for the whistle. I remember the line said he tried a similar trick on Geylang in the first half when Gabriel Quack find himself in acres of space down that right-hand side. Isdin take two. Now he'll be more direct, Isdin. Floating it in. Ichikawa is there. Ichikawa rises. But he's penalised for a push on Akari, I think it was, or maybe even Gabriel Quack as he went down. And that'll be a free kick. And now the clock is the enemy of Geylang International as much as the Lion City Sailors are. Yeah, just leant over the top of Gabriel Quack there. You can see it on that replay, Ichikawa. Hassan Sani, who will be as relieved as anyone that Saifullah got that second half strike to take the pressure off Singapore's #1, whose mistake led to the equaliser in the first half. At the moment, this game being decided by Saifullah's 57th minute card. And Van Heusen, is it Van Heusen in the book here? Or Isdin? Well, Van Heusen's already been booked if it's Van Heusen. It's Barry Maguire, isn't it? Now, Maguire hadn't been booked, so Maguire will go into the referee's book to become the 4th Geylang player on the yellow. They've managed that situation quite well, to be fair, Geylang, because when Ilhan Noor and Ferdows went in the book earlier, you thought they'd be walking a disciplinary tightrope, but they've managed that situation well. Faris Ramley is someone they've struggled to manage since his introduction. Faris Ramley back to Naikuddin. Naikuddin gets it back to Saifullah, and the flag was up for offside against Faris Ramley. And now they want a card shown to Saifullah for kicking the ball away. Well, it's going to be a roller coaster 7 minutes here. Still absorbing in the best AIA Singapore Premier League season in many a year. Albrechts, as it stands, at the end of tonight will be a point clear from the Sailors, who'll reclaim second spot from Tampines. And those three teams, if Geylang can't get a late winner against Balestier, are going to start to pull away, you fancy. Here's Faris Ramley, he's onside this time. Stipe waits in the middle, Lopez too. Faris Ramley gets a trick out to beat Ilhan Noor. And the hesitation from the keeper means Lopez can get there. Lopez! Gabriel Quack, surely! Oh, wonderful save, Sanders Surajan. That's at least the 4th top draw save for the 21-year-old debutant. And 3 of the saves have come from point-blank range as well. It's a debut that man will remember for many a year. Such a shame it looks like it's going to be a losing effort, but look at this. Lopez, Quack beats Darren Tay, but not Sanders Surajan. Now Geylang desperately need to get the ball up the other end of the field here. Isdin up in the air, looking for Maresh. But then coughing up possession too quickly afterwards was Asri. Van Heusen trying to close down Naikudin, and Naikudin's timed that run to perfection. Lovely work between Naikudin and Faris Ramley. Naikudin forward for the first time tonight, and the final pass was a shocker. Straight to Isdin, and now Naikudin's out of position. What can Moresh do against George Felipe? Oh no, oh no, if Moresh has done a hamstring, this could be a disaster for Geylang. He went down there initially like it might be a hamstring, and if that is the case, Noor Ali's treatment table goes from bad to worse. Is it a hamstring or a calf he's feeling there? Maybe his left calf. This could be a nightmare. Let's just hope from Geylang's point of view it's only a touch of cramp. It's just the way he went down. He pulled up so quickly, and he went down looking in some discomfort. Well, with Silvano Convalius missing in action, Harith Kanadi injured. If they lose Moresh, well, it could be a disaster for them. The way it's being massaged there would make you hope it was only a touch of cramp. Initially, it looked like it might be much worse. Just having that left calf and hamstring massage. He doesn't look as bad now, does he? And he's going to get up under his own steam. Well, that's a huge sigh of relief, I'm sure, from Noor Ali. Is it just cramp? Yeah, the way he's stretching there suggests it might be. Well, he's got to try and take on some fluids here and raise his game for one last push, because if they've got a magic man in their ranks that's capable of levelling this up, it would be Moresh. He's already scored his 7th of the season tonight, and remember, he scored his previous 6 goals in 3 games, a brace in each goal. Can he keep up that synergy by getting a second one in this matchup, even though he now appears to be playing on 1.5 legs? Hassan Sunny will be in no hurry at all to take this. I'd imagine you've got to anticipate a minimum of 4 minutes as it stands. I can see the Sailors are getting their final change ready as well downstairs. Looks like there's about to be a change, and it's going to be Adam Swandy who's going to come on for the final seconds. Well, one in the air by Saifullah. Barry Maguire, now he'll go down and pick up the free kick after the coming together with Stipe. Well, they've created plenty of chances in this game, Geylang. They've had double-digit shots on goal, and half of those have been decent openings. Can they create another chance here? And do to the Lion City Sailors what the Lion City Sailors did to Albrechts Nagata on this ground a month ago, when George Felipe popped up with a late equaliser to make that game 2-2. Over the top, looking for Van Heusen. Going to take a special ball at that height to get past Felipe. And now Felipe, the assistant referee, is going to give the free kick here. And the Brazilians coughed up a set-piece opportunity to Geylang with 2.5 minutes to play. Well, Felipe got himself into a muddle there, brought down Van Heusen. And as Gabriel Quack's about to be replaced by Adam Swandy, will they make that change before they defend this set-piece? Well, they must be exhausted, this makeshift Geylang international team. Bruised, battered, down, but not out quite yet. Isdin's delivery will be the outswinger. Can they get the better of Felipe in the air, of Hassan Sunny in the Lion City Sailors goal, and steal a precious point as Hougang take the lead against Balestier. Hougang 4, Balestier Khalsa 3. And headed behind for a corner by, I think, Felipe, who was kidding no one with his appeals to get a goal kick out of that. This will be only Geylang's 3rd corner of the game, their 2nd of the second half. Isdin to deliver. But they may as well throw caution to the wind here. In it goes. Hassan Sunny comes and claims brilliantly. Well, that's more like it from Singapore's #1, and he'll get the free kick to boot. And now the change will come. Gabriel Quack, who's been quiet by his very, very high standards, will be replaced by Adam Swandy, who's really waited in the wings to get a significant opportunity for the Sailors this season. This won't be it. He's only going to come on with, well, less than 90 seconds and stoppage time remaining. The stoppage time situation, there have been a couple of interruptions. I'd anticipate 4 at a stretch, 5 minutes to be added on. Hougang taking that late lead against Balestier Khalsa after Balestier Khalsa have battled back from 3-1 down to 3-3. Have Hougang snatched it at the death with Hafiz popping up with a late goal. Hassan Sunny. Clearance looking for Stipe. Only finding Barry Maguire. who's been first in nearly everything tonight. Amy had his shirt tugged there by Naikudin, and now the free kick will go the way of the Sailors for the foul on Naikudin by Van Heusen. I can see the fourth official signifying 4 minutes will be shortly added on. So there are 360 seconds for the Eagles to save this. It's been a gutsy display, but you don't get anything for being gutsy in football. It's about points on the board, and that ball through from Moresh, just wrong-footed Amy at the wrong moment. And you do get the feeling now, as the board does go up to show 4 minutes of time to be added on, that the Eagles are really running out of gas here. And credit where it's due to the Sailors. They needed to get the second half score, and they did. It's not been pretty. There's certainly improvement to be had in this Lion City Sailors squad, but it looks like they're going to pick up the 3 points to take them to within a point of defending champions Albirex Niigata. But Moresh might still have something to say about it, and he'll have a free kick to say it with as well. Adam Swandy with the foul. Isdin, they take it quickly. Spread it out wide to Van Heusen on this near side. Van Heusen delivers along the deck. Comes out to the edge of the area. Third house, Kasman! And again, it's straight at Hassan Sunny. That's a trio of chances they've had in the second half, and all 3 of them straight at the Sailors' keeper. Hassan Sunny sees Faris Ramley in space. That's a good clearance from Hassan Sunny. Faris Ramley has made an impact since he's come on. Of that, there is no doubt. Saifullah. Adam Swandy now. First chance to see the Sailors' other flying winger in action. Swandy's onside here. And Swandy will beat his man and settle for the corner, and there'll be an absolutely no hurry to take this. A reminder, don't forget to check the wonderful Farah Naya in the SPL show, published on One Play Sports at the start of every week, around about Tuesday time, for all the action from what's been a frenetic match week 9 in the AIA Singapore Premier League. That will also encompass, of course, the Tampines victory against the Young Lions here last Sunday, which was a make-up game ahead of the Stags heading to the Champions League. Some cracking matches so far this weekend. Those that have been completed, obviously, unfortunately, we lost Tanjung Pagar and the Young Lions 1-1 when the LWS system came on. Faris Ramley's onside. Game, set, match. Off the post, Faris Ramley. Loose ball comes out. And it's laid off to Diego Lopez, who tries to get it off of Stipe Plazibat, but another chance comes and goes. They're out on their feet now, Geylang. Lopez, back to Naikudin. Naikudin's going to lose possession here if he's not careful. Stipe Plazibat, team player, tracking back, gets it to Lopez. Ichikawa anticipates it brilliantly, and now the Eagles can come forward one last time. And that's the foul from Chardin that will see him go into the referee's notebook. So Chardin sees yellow. Just the second Sailor after George Felipe to go in the referee's book. Last chance saloon now for Geylang. Can they force a late opportunity in the same vein that Tampines did against Albirex yesterday? Very different circumstances, but the same ultimately basic scenario. Geylang need a goal to get a point. They've only got seconds left to get one. Ichikawa headed in. Are they onside? They are! Oh, he couldn't control it. The flag stayed down. And surely that's the chance that's come and gone. Amy Recker, it opened up for him through the middle. And as you can see from this angle, he was onside. All he had to do was take a swipe at it. But it dribbled off his thigh into the thankful hands of Hassan Sunny, as the Sailors' defence still at times looks incredibly vulnerable through the middle. Barry Maguire. Continue, the final whistle's gone at Hougang. Hougang United 4, Balestier Khalsa 3. The final whistle is about to go here. Is there time for one last push from Geylang International? Ichikawa sends it long, looking for Van Heusen. Van Heusen loses out to Faris Ramley. And they won't have time to launch another attack. That last opportunity that fell to Amy was their last chance to get something from the game. Geylang International can leave with their heads held high from Jalan Besar tonight, under strength, injury ravaged, but they've pushed the Sailors to the limit. The Lion City Sailors taking the lead 22 minutes into the first half. Stipe Plazamat latching onto a shocking defensive mistake from Darren Tay. Just 5 minutes later, a Hassan Sunny howler gifted Maresh his 7th of the campaign, and just like that the Eagles were level. But then 12 minutes into the second half, a fantastic long-range effort from Saifullah Akbar for his 3rd of the season was the goal that decided the game. Geylang had chances aplenty, but badly missed the services of their Dutch striker Silvano Convalius, and ultimately have just fallen short once again. The Sailors go to within a point of Albrecht Nagata at the top of the AIA Singapore Premier League table tonight. It's finished here. The Lion City Sailors 2. Geylang International 1. As we look back at the best of the action, well, this is a moment Darren Tay will want to forget, passing it straight to Plazamat, who still had a lot to do, and he did what he had to do brilliantly, slotting it past the incredibly impressive debutant keeper, Sanders Surajan. That was 22 minutes on the clock. Just 5 minutes later, though, Hassan Sunny fans, look away now. If you thought Darren Tay's mistake was bad, take a look at what Hassan Sunny comes up with to gift Maresh the equaliser after 27 minutes. For the second time this season that Jalan Besar, a back pass has caught Hassan Sunny out badly, but this time it was an absolute shocker that laid Maresh's goal on a plate for the Brazilian. 1-1 at that point. Geylang had a chance just before half-time to actually take the lead, but they didn't take it. Opportunities are plenty at both ends, but poor finishing from both the Sailors and Geylang meant it would only be a 3-goal game. So after Maresh had levelled there, the deciding goal came 12 minutes into the second half. Faris Ramli, who made a huge impression when he came on, gets it to Lopez. His shot is blocked. Chardin with a layoff to Saifullah. One touch, bang. Sweetly struck with the right foot. Beyond the despairing dive of Sanders Surajan, who once again on debut had a cracking game, the 21-year-old keeper. Saifullah, an early contender already for the AIA Young Player of the Month for May. It's worth looking at this winning goal one more time, an absolute beauty. And that was that. Geylang huffed and they puffed. Amy had at least 2 decent chances, including one in the final seconds to level it up, but they couldn't get the job done, and the Sailors march on to within a point of Albrecht Nagata. A game full of shots, 31 in total, plenty of on-target efforts as well. Yellow cards racked up late on, but the only stat that matters is the one at the top of that screen that tells you the 3 points belong to the Sailors of the Lion City. Let's check in with the other results tonight, that incredible game that's been going on over at Hougang, where the final whistle has gone, and Hougang have won that by 4 goals to 3. A reminder, Tanjung Pagar United and the Young Lions postponed after the game was abandoned in the second half due to the lightning warning system, and obviously the revised Ramadan schedule meant it was unfortunately not possible to restart that. That game will be replayed at a later date, but remember, 1-1 at the time, so other than inconvenience, no real harm done. A cracker at our Tampines hub. Tampines Rovers with a last gasp penalty through Boris Kapinovic, holding the champions Albrecht Nagata to a 2-2 draw. Hougang coming out on top against Balestier Kals with a 7-goal thriller. Hougang led 3-1 in that game. 1-0 down early through Zuzu. Yamazaki, Lionel Tan and Idraki made it 3-1. Just before half-time, Faisal Rafi made it 3-2 and gave Balestier a chance in the second half. 20 minutes to go, Kiki Krajcek levelled it up for 3-3, but it was Hafiz with 3 minutes to go that stole all 3 points for the Cheetahs. And don't forget, there's 4 great games coming up next week as well. Tampines Rovers against Balestier Khalsa. Khalsa will be smarting from that last gasp defeat tonight against Hougang. It's Stags and Tigers next Saturday. Also Swans Young Lions at Jurong East. Can the defending champions get back to winning ways? Geylang will be buoyed from their performance, but they'll have another tough challenge next week at our Tampines hub as they take on Hougang United, who edged that 7-goal thriller tonight. And the Sailors, can they go marching on in a 3-game period with 1 game done that could see them go top of the table? They are now facing back-to-back games against Tanjung Pagar United and the Young Lions. Just to recap, Albrecht Nagata top the table on 21 points. The Lion City Sailors a point behind them now, with a goal difference 2 better than the Swans. It's 2 points back to Albrecht and Hougang a point further adrift. It's good night from Jalan Besar, where we've seen a cracking game that Geylang gave it everything, but it's the Sailors that sail high to move within a point of the top of the table. Lion City Sailors 2, Geylang International 1. Stay safe and we'll see you next week for more great live AIA Singapore Premier League action.